Right. What you guys saying though, man? You good? Man. I'm just tired right now, but sorry, seriously, I don't know what to say right now, but basically I watched, what's it called, The Walking Dead, The World Beyond yesterday, episode 2. And bruv, what are you thinking, blood? Seriously, the directors, what were you thinking? Seriously, bruv. I watched episode 2, yeah, and what? Seriously, bruv, what were you thinking? That was the most bullshit I've ever seen, blood. Come on, man, fix up, man. I hope episode, I'm gonna give it a chance still, but come on, fix up. You can't go in like about the characters. You can't go in depth with the characters. Not so soon, fam. We've literally just watched episode 1. We don't even know much about what's going on or the situation or the scenario, and you're already going in deep with the characters, bruv. I'm like, rah, like, what's going on, bruv? It was heavily character driven, fam. I'm like, yo, like, I don't even know what's even happening, first of all, fam. We didn't even see anything about the Civic Republic, fam. I'm like, what is going on, bruv? And the thing that makes it worse, yeah, they're teaching us how to kill bloody walkers, fam. I'm like, blood. We already know already, bruv. They saw this from the beginning, from season 2 or something, you know what I mean, in Walking Dead. We don't need to know that, bruv. We went 10 seasons in, fam. We don't need to know that, bruv. Ah, allow it, man. I was trying to give it a chance and you just pushing me to the edge, bruv. Like, I'm thinking to myself, I don't want to watch it, but at the same time I'm thinking, bruv, I want to know what happens, because obviously apparently this is linked to Rick, innit? That's the only reason why I'm watching it, because I want to know what happens, bruv. You get me? I don't want to miss any details when, you know, and I'm just trying to fill in all the gaps and watch everything that I need to watch, so that when it comes to season 11, I'm ready. I haven't missed out anything. But to be fair, I don't even watch Fear of the Walking Dead, so I don't even know. But bun that, I'm just watching this right now because it's linked. Let me see what, you know, what it turns out to be. You know what I mean? And then that's that. I'm gonna give it a chance still, but bruv, you need to fix up. Seriously, episode 3 it's gotta be better than this, bruv. This episode 2 was a joke, bruv. Seriously, man. But apart from that, yeah, listen, like, I'm out here, innit? I'm just talking because, you know what I mean, I'm just doing my little review on of the Walking Dead, and I didn't really go in depth, like, in terms of like the characters and that. Obviously, like, I was just talking more about I talked about some characters, but I forgot to mention some characters from my last video, innit? Like Shane and you know, Dale. These are all from season 1, innit? All these characters, you know what I mean? I don't know, those who follow Walking Dead, you know, Walking Dead, you know what I mean? Walking Dead, yeah, like, they'll understand, innit? But those who haven't watched it, they won't have no clue what I'm talking about. But yeah, but those who watch it, they'll know what I'm talking about still, you know what I mean? I know there's other characters that I missed out, but I can't remember their names, innit? I just can't bother to even look to search what their names are and that. But you know, I'll put their pictures up in it just to show you that, you know, I know what I'm talking about. But you know, I'm just tired today, bro. I'm just like, yo, like, for my last video, I know it was quite deep, and I kind of went in a little bit. But I'm just sitting just talking about my review of The World Beyond and that. The World Beyond wasn't that great, man, especially episode 2. You know what I mean, I'm not gonna put the whole thing down, because there are some interesting characters that's coming through and that. You get me? Obviously, we know the relationship between Iris and Hope and that, but the problem is just that, you know, it was just dead. Let's just keep it real, bro. You know what I mean? It's funny, it's called The Walking Dead. That episode was dead, fam. I mean, that episode 2 was dead. Anyone who hasn't seen it yet, sorry I spoiled it for you, but yeah, that's all you need to know, man. Seriously, man. Some people are gonna probably quit watching it, so I'll ban that. I'm like, but for me, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna give it a go still, see what I want. But that episode is dead, bruv. You know what I mean, if people are upset, I can completely understand, because even myself was like, right, what is this? I fell asleep for it. That's how dead it was. It was so boring. Like, I don't know what was going on. I'm like, yo, like, the thing is that what they done in episode 2 was necessary, but it wasn't necessary for episode 2, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, it was necessary. That story had to be told, but not in episode 2. It was too soon. It needs to build up first, and then that should have been put in probably like probably later on, like maybe episode 4, 5, or even 6, bruv. But not episode 2, fam. It's too soon, fam. Do you get me? So that's it, man. But I'm not gonna go on a full rant because obviously it's just the beginning, innit? Hopefully it gets interesting because I'm literally like so close to just be like, you know, bun this TV series, bruv. Let me just focus on just Walking Dead season 11, bruv, and there's episodes that's coming up because this is dead. But I just really want to know the link to Rick, bruv, because apparently he's like his own movie and that, so I want to know, innit? Because I am a fan, you know what I mean, with the whole Walking Dead, you get me? But yeah, man, that's what I'm talking about so far, and that was not really it wasn't really what I thought, innit? It was a lot of talking, and that's one thing I hate about movies. I don't like movies where they talk too much, fam. Like right now I'm trying to not talk too much because it's boring, bruv, you get me? So that's that, bruv. But nah, it's long still. Oh my days, man. You know the moments where you just feel to yourself, why am I even uploading, fam? That's how I feel like today. I just feel like, why am I uploading? I don't even know what to say today. Today I'm just like, I'm doing my review, yeah, talking about episode 2, but there's nothing you could talk about. There's literally nothing to talk about because nothing happened, fam. It was just talking, and that's that, bruv. It was dead. You get me? But anyway, I hope you guys are doing alright though. Seriously, like based on what I spoke, you know, I said in my last video. I hope like a lot of people took it in and stuff, and I hope you understood where I was coming from and that. You know me? Because obviously I know what I'm going in it. No, I was just watching. I'm gonna talk about something else because this context is subject is boring me, fam. Like I was watching my man, innit? Big up Castillo, yeah. You know what I'm talking about. He's a YouTube. Go and follow him, Castillo first and that. I was watching his video, fam. He had a panel of things and that. I think that there's some girls. They basically on the show. They basically talk that talk in it. Yeah, some show called Talk That Talk show. It was just lit, bro. And I was literally listening to his. But just follow my man, bro. My guy's lit, you know. Follow my man. He's lit, fam. I think it's Castillo first. Yeah, follow my guy, bro. I mean, the first time I saw this guy, I saw my Instagram. I was like, what? I was like, bro. I was like, because I was thinking, this guy looks like. He looks like someone from like South America and that. So I was thinking like, rah, what's he like? He's from the UK and that. I'm like, rah, because I'm like, rah. Like first I was like, I didn't understand it because I was like, yo, what? Then I found out he's from here, innit? And I was thinking at first I was like, this guy, what? You know what I mean? Because he had the long curly hair and that. I was like, I've never seen like Londoners or any young London youths here with hair like that, fam. You get me? I've never seen that, bruv. But I was just like, rah, this guy, bruv. I mean, this guy, bruv, like, is this, like, are you sure this guy's, I was like, rah, this guy's from here? I'm like, rah. It's a bit mad still, as I've never seen someone like that, bruv, here. So I was like, yo, I decided just to follow my man because I saw he had, like, YouTube. I just wanted to follow what he's about and that. And all of a sudden, I just found out this guy is hilarious, fam. Like, this guy is funny, fam. This guy is the guy, bruv. Like, he's just out there, he's just talking the truth out here, fam. Like, a lot of people don't know much about this guy, but follow him, man. He's lit. He's lit, fam. Like, he is lit, fam. I'm probably one day, you know what I mean, have him on the show. I mean, have him on my show and as a guest as well, bruv. You know what I mean? One day I want to have him as a guest, fam. Like, he's lit, fam. Like, I've been watching his show still. It's lit. Like, it's lit, fam. Like, I was watching that show. Every show he does is always lit because he just says it as it is, fam. I saw his interview with Zizi Mills and that. Even Zizi Mills, she's lit as well, bruv. You know what I mean? I didn't even know about Zizi Mills until this year. A lot of people knew about her. I only found out about her, like, this year, fam. Or not even this year. Like, yeah, this year, but a couple of months ago, fam. I was like, right, all these people have been out here, do you get me? And I didn't know anything about them, bruv. You know what I mean? So now I'm like, I found out about them. I was like, yo, these people are lit, you know? A lot of good content from their channels, bruv. I've been watching a lot of their stuff, you know what I mean? They're lit, fam. Especially my guy Castillo, bruv. Wallah, my man. My man is lit out here, fam. He is lit. Guys, I tell you to follow him, man. Seriously, follow him, bruv. He is lit, bruv. He's like a brother from another mother, bruv. This guy. I mean, it's like, yo, it's like I feel like this guy. He's like, he just understands my world. Like, he understands where I've come from. It's like he grew up with me, but I mean, like, he grew up in my. He's like, he knows my life. I was like, yo, have you been in my life or something? He knows. Like, he's talking my life, fam. Like, everything he talks about, I could just relate, fam. Like, he's just such a relatable guy, bruv. Like, he's just lit, bruv. I'm just like, yo, guys, follow my man, you know what I mean? Seriously, bruv. I'm not speaking heavy about him, but he's literally lit, fam. I haven't really been seeing, like, a lot of YouTubers like him in a while, bruv. Like, I haven't seen a lot of YouTubers like him in a while, fam. Like, he's just raw and real, fam. Like, raw and real, fam. Like, that's my guy, seriously, raw and real. But certain people out here, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to say nothing, but a lot of people out here, the content is just fake, innit? But my guy out here, he's raw and real, fam. So seriously, man, go and watch my man, innit? Because he's lit, fam. Yeah, like especially when he goes in with that talk and he was asking real relatable questions about, you know what I mean, about relationships and that, because obviously relationships right now is a bit of a myth and that. It ain't right out here, man. Things ain't right now, man. I don't want to go heavy into like relationships, but it's just, you know already what going right now, man. It's just, it's a bit mad, you know what I mean? It's really mad right now what's going on with relationships, bro, you know what I mean? And I understand, innit, like why things are moving the way it is, you know what I mean? Because obviously it's a new time, innit? Technology's come in, the game's changed a bit, you get me? So there's a lot more options, innit? So bare people are moving mad weird and moving there, it's just crazy, bro. Oh my days, man. But it was just good, innit? I'd say people watch the show, man, watch it out, because it's funny and it's also, it will teach you some stuff as well, innit? Because right now, like I was saying about, it's leading to what I was talking about yesterday. It's just, it's come to this point where it's just we're at a standstill, innit? Nothing kind of really makes sense. We're just kind of like trying to make it make sense, but it doesn't really make sense. So we're just trying our best to try and make sense out of it, because you have no choice, innit? And that's what I think that's the time we're in right now. Do you get me? And that's it, you get me? I don't want to be this kind of person that's bringing up all this content and all these ideas, all this information. Nah, I'm just reporting, or, you know, whatever you want to call it, reporting or just talking about like currently what's going on, like, and just talking about things. Okay, I talk about movies, but I'm also talking about things outside of that, because it's like a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, if it's affected by real life, innit? It's affected by my reality, fam. You know what I mean? Like right now I'm in my car filming. Of course, as I'm filming, there's people walking by, innit? You know what I mean? But, you know, that's how real it is, fam. That's how real I am. Like, I'm just saying things as it is, bruv. I'm just doing things as it is. I'm not trying to hide nothing. You know what I mean? Because, like, bruv, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, you know what I mean? You can't expose everything, don't get me wrong, of course not. But, you know what I mean? But, I don't know, man. It's just like I said, I think it's just, we're at identity crisis right now. We're just trying to find ourselves, and it's kind of hard to find who you are. And even though you think you know who you are, you don't know who you are, do you know what I'm saying? So, bruv, like, it's just this journey, innit? It's part of life and that. And, you know what I mean? I'm sorry I'm sounding kind of tired right now. It's just, I just don't really know what to say. I'm just, you know, I was trying to do this review on The Walking Dead, The World Beyond, but of episode 2, but it was so dead to the point that I don't have nothing to say, fam. There's nothing to say upon it. It was so character driven. There was not much done. There was no action. Literally, they were just teaching them how to kill walkers. That's all it was. It wasn't really anything. There was not much action. So I was like, raw, like, okay. I mean, so I'll just leave that out for a bit and start talking about something else that I just watched today. So yeah, man, I decided to just come out here and make my video, because a lot of the stuff they were talking about on that show was really relatable, you know what I mean? And I just thought to myself, let me just come out here and make my video and just talk about my opinion about it and that, you get me? You know what I mean? People should check him out, man. Seriously, my guy's lit, man. Seriously, honestly. I mean, every time I watch his stuff, it always makes me laugh, man. He's a funny guy. I mean, he's a funny guy, and he's not only just funny, but he's also real. The reason why I like him a lot is because not only just like he's funny, his comedy is real. Do you get me? He's talking about real life that all of us are going through, or some of us have already been through, or some of us are gonna go through. Do you get me? And it's just mad interesting, fam. Like, just like the way he just puts in heavy information, but he puts it in a comical way, so you can feel more relaxed and you can laugh with it and like just feel a bit good, even though you know to yourself, rah, that is a bit mad. But you could just, you know, you could look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of been me. It's been mad, I ain't gonna lie, it's been mad. But, you know, in the day, that's how it is, isn't it? It's banned still. He's nothing but banned, seriously, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Just watch my man. Hopefully, my man, I can have him a guest. You know, I'm having a guest on my channel. You know what I mean? Because obviously we do interviews. I know I've seen him do some interviews before, innit? He's been doing some movie reviews, and he can probably pop down and do a movie review and that, and I mean, but look, Castillo, bruv, seriously, if you're watching this, bruv, I mean, I'd love you to be a guest host on my show, but seriously, man, like, we could, you know what I mean, do this interview about movies and that, and just talk about life, because you are the guy, bruv. Seriously, you are the guy. Seriously, bruv, you know what I mean? There's a lot of guys I watched out there, but you're different, fam. You're unique, bruv. You know what I mean? You coming up with your own thing, you're coming up raw and real, bruv. I rate that. Seriously. I mean, I've watched a lot of your videos, and there's not been one video that I felt like, you know what, oh, this guy, nah. Every time I watch you, you know what I mean, you teach me a lot of things, you know what I mean. Not only just like you spitting the truth, you're also teaching me new things as well. That you know what I mean, that, you know, I didn't even know about. I didn't even know about. So yo, you're the guy, bro. Seriously, man. I would love to have you as a guest star on my show, but seriously, I don't know. This ain't a show, just on my channel, innit? So boom, you know what I'm saying. Talk about movies and life and that. Seriously, man. You know what I mean. But anyway, again, people, don't have much to say out here. Don't want to waste a lot of time on that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to just get my stuff out here and just, you know, talk about what's going on there. Try my best to just do what I can. I can't. It's annoying because I would love to sit and be like, next week we'll have this, we'll have that, but I don't know what's gonna happen next week, innit? And this whole thing is nothing's guaranteed. So I'll just be like, you know what? When you see me, innit? And that's that. If you don't see me, you don't see me.
Episode 3 of the World Beyond, innit, bruv? A massive difference, man. Like part 2 or episode 2 wasn't that great, but then straight into episode 3, jeez, it was great, man. Oh yeah, guys, just before I continue, make sure you like, comment, subscribe and that, because obviously I've been forgetting to tell people that, obviously, because obviously I've been at the YouTube game for a bit, but now I'm back. You know, make sure you even love if you want to, like, comment, subscribe and that, innit, you know, so send some love and that, innit, if you like what I'm talking about, you know, you're on it, whatever, you like what I'm doing, that's that, you know what I mean. I know my voice, yeah, it's a bit of a myth now, but, you know, I've just been watching, you know, if you've been watching me so far, I've been talking about this, you know, this new program or new TV series, continuing from the you know, from the what do they call it, from the I hate when you can't find the word, but then later on you'll find the word, but just the umbrella of The Walking Dead. So basically they've continued it as the Walking Dead, The World Beyond, and I've been watching it. I watched episode 1, it was good. Episode 2 was trash, and then episode 3, wow. They definitely picked up, man. Definitely picked up. I could definitely say for sure that this episode was very, very, very good. If you guys haven't seen it, go and watch it, man. It was really, really good. Right, let me talk about it. Right, so we start off the season, or this the episode with Silas. Oh yeah, again, it's gonna be spoilers again on those who haven't seen it. There's gonna be a bit of spoilers. You know, I'm just letting you know. But go and watch it. But it's gonna be spoilers, so I'm gonna just go straight into it. We start off with the scene with Silas. You know, Silas is our kind of dark horse. I mean, out of our characters in the series. When we were introduced to him, he was very quiet. This little guy, this big guy, you know, cleaning on the side, you know, with his earphones on, very reserved, you know. But then after that, you know, we don't really get introduced to this guy as much. We don't really know much about him, but we know that, you know, that there's something about him. You know what I mean? You know, and usually people that are reserved and quiet, you know, there's always the reason why, and then we get to find the reason why in episode 3. It's all starting to build up. You know, he has has bloods in his hand. He's got a lot of memories in his mind of, you know, stuff that he's done in the past, you know, and he's looking like he's killed somebody, he's murdered somebody. We don't know who it could be. It could be a brother, it could be, you know, a family member, you know what I mean, but we definitely know it's another human being. And, you know, throughout that episode, you know, we start to see a lot about him, his story, and what he's going through. I mean, episode 2 was a lot about Felix, but in episode 3 we go straight into Silas's little story. Yeah, we get to know a little bit more about him, and obviously the journey goes on, and we obviously see Hope has disappeared somewhere to try and I forgot what they call it. Is it the Blaze or something like that? Something like that, yeah. Basically trying to sound some sort of alarm for them to sort of escape the area. You know, because they're on this journey to go find their dad. Because as you know, if you don't know the movie story, the story is about, they lost their mum, and then now there's basically their sisters, Iris and Hope. They're two sisters. They lost their mother, and their father went off to New York. They supposedly say, but we know it's not New York. We know it's the Pacific Republic. and he's basically trying to find a cure. You know what I mean? How to cure this, you know, these zombies from, you know, from this apocalypse that we've been exposed to for 10 years now in this universe in The Walking Dead. So, you know, there's a lot of rumors. The reason why this is happening, or this season has taken part, or has actually, is actually happening, is because of, you know, of Rick. You know what I mean? Because obviously if we've seen, you know, season 9, Rick, you know, dies, but then again, then we find out that he's not dead. So everybody wants to know where is he gone, and now we're, you know, this episode is coming to show us where he is. So, you know, we got a bit of glimpse of, you know, where he might be, especially the last couple of scenes of the episode. You know, it's just they film a bit of the Civic Republic. We get a little bit of a little story there, you know, with you know, I wish I knew her name. I need to get a name. I need to get the names of these people. They're running the leaders of the Civic Republic, and she's actually, you know, she explains to the soldiers that they have everything. They have electricity, water, gas, whatever, and then boom, the guy's got a conscience now saying, you know, nah, what we've done was wrong, you know, killing these people, they were not a threat. But she said that anybody that tries to challenge us is a threat. You know what I mean? He said that it wasn't a threat then, but they're gonna be a threat. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you need to watch this show, man. This show is absolutely lit. You know what I mean? In the beginning here, when I first watched it, I wasn't on it, but then I started to watch it. It's getting darker and it's getting interesting, man. And then the thing that I loved as well is, like, we watch all of this, you know, we're watching all this entangle. We've seen, you know, bruv, it's mad. Like, we just see a lot of Cyrus. We just see his true colors. He just becomes this incredible Hulk, you know what I mean? Like, he starts holding the tires, and then he's like, he speaks to Iris, and he says to Iris, you know, there's one person I'm afraid of. I'm not afraid of the zombies, I'm afraid of myself. I'm like, mad. He's afraid of himself. I'm like, wow. I was like, that's mad, man. And then, like, obviously the iconic part of it, like the sweet part of it, there's a scene that coming towards the end where we just see Iris kind of bandage his hand from the injuries that he got from the from holding the tie or the wheel, or holding the gate, you know, that was holding the tires. And then, you know, all of a sudden he shares his little blanket with her when they're walking off. So all of us are kind of thinking, is there something going on there? Are they dating, or are they seeing each other? We don't know what is going on.
What's everyone saying? You good? Hope you guys having a good weekend, innit? Having a good Saturday and that. Anyway, back at it, you know what I mean? Just before we do anything, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If those who don't know me, my name's Cedric. This is my YouTube channel. I've been going around different cinemas, talking to regular people like you and me about their opinions of movies or the movie they just saw at the time, and just trying to do something that I basically didn't really see going on YouTube. You know what I mean? I see people, you know, talk about their reviews on movies and that, but I never really saw genuine people talking about it. But because obviously the situation that's been going on at the moment, it's a bit peak with the cinemas. You don't know when, you know, they're open or not, or whatever, and it's a bit, you know, shortage of people and all that. So I said, you know what, let me just start doing a bit of some reviews in my car. But rather than doing movies now, I'm just focusing now on, you know, just TV series, because that's the most popular thing that's happening at the moment. That's the thing that people are watching at the moment. That's the thing that I'm really watching mostly at this current time. And obviously currently I've been talking about my experience with The Walking Dead. You know, I talked about that a little bit, didn't really go into much depth about it, but you know, probably at a later time I'll talk about it, because it is a very, very long season. It's 10 seasons long, so we'll talk about that a bit more later. But for the time being, I'm currently watching The Walking Dead, The World Beyond, and we're on episode 4. Episode 5 premieres tomorrow. So I'm just going to talk about episode 4 based on, you know, what I've seen so far. I've seen episode 1, 2 and 3. It's slowly picking up, and episode 4, once again, you know, it's done its justice. You know what I mean? It's just getting better and better and better. You know, we see we see the gang now starting to develop. We start to see, especially Silas, we're starting to get a lot more out of him. We're starting to understand who he is, where he's coming from, what is his purpose, his mindset, and then we're starting to see other characters starting to develop who they are as well. Other characters are starting to be challenged now, such as Elton, and starting to see maybe a different side to him. I'm starting to see a different side to Felix. We're starting to see, all the characters are now starting to be challenged. I just want to say big up to, is it AMC who does it? Yeah, because so far it's just interesting to see what's happening at the moment, and we just break into another episode of where we start to see the characters get more braver, more bolder, and start opening up about their intentions and what they want. So this episode, we see the gang again, but now it starts from 4 now to 5, because including Felix and I don't know the lady's name. I need to get her name. I'll find out for you what her name is. And then they go off to this, I presume, school. And then when they go into the school, oh yeah, I keep forgetting. Once again, guys, if you haven't seen it, this is gonna be a spoiler, isn't it? That's what I'm letting you know. If you're gonna go and watch it later on, and you don't want to know anything about the series, don't watch this, because I'm gonna be giving stuff away. So don't watch this. But if you don't care, or if you've already seen it already and you just want to know my opinion, then watch it. So yeah, so they go into this school, and then in this school, well, it's just a school, like how it is usually when you watch Walking Dead. When it's a school, the whole place is messy, it's dirty, there's no one about, there's a lot of hidden things about, like clues, like books or accessories, even food. So they go around looking for things that they can find to try and help them eat, because they want to eat, they need to eat, so they all split up into groups. So Felix goes off with Elton, and then we see Iris is consistent, like, I want to be with Silas, because there's a sort of relationship going on between them two. And then obviously Hope goes to the other lady, like, I don't know her name. So it starts off with Hope, with the lady, and Hope's getting flashbacks about her father and that, and basically she's just trying to understand or get ideas of why he was doing what he was doing, and her behavior towards him. And I think she was having sort of a regretful moment of feeling to herself that she felt guilty, feeling like a lot of the stuff, all the decisions that was made by her father, was her own fault. So you could see that in the flashbacks, and there was that's what she was having. Just trying to understand why he made the decision that he did. And then then we get to I don't know if I'm fasting forward. Then I think then it cuts off to Elton and Felix's scene, and then they're sort of looking for food and that. And then, like, basically, whilst they're scavenging for food, I think they find boxes and that, and then later on they come out. This is the clever thing that Felix tries to do. He tries to convince Elton to try and get the gang to go back, because this whole thing, Felix is just trying to get them all back to the school again, innit? But he doesn't actually know that the Civil Republic have destroyed the school, but he's trying to convince them to keep going back there. So they don't obviously want to do that. So he's trying to use Elton to try and convince the others to go back, because now Elton is starting to he's starting to think things through, and starting to think he's just curious, and he's a curious guy. That's the character that we've been introduced to. That his character has always just been a curious person, curious, and just wants to know more about what's going on. And I think he always takes pictures of things that he sees and that, and obviously he was questioning him and then tried to manipulate. No, I don't know if he's manipulate, but just try and use him for his goal, or what he's trying to achieve. So then they come out of the thing, and then they see blood on the floor, and then they don't know where the blood is. The blood is, they're saying it could be a walker, but then obviously they were saying it's something else. Then they go off to go and look for whose blood that is, and then later on we find out that there's another character, because we see a walker come out and he gets dragged, so we know there's not a walker. So then we're introduced now to Iris's and Silas's scene,
and then they're in like a a hall, like a massive hall, like where they, those hall, the famous halls that they call it a basketball hall. I don't know what it is, but it's a hall, and basically they're just reminiscing their time, when their time when they were back in school, and they're just questioning each other, and then like obviously Silas is getting flashbacks and that, and obviously I can't remember what happened most of the scene because I think it was a couple of days ago I watched it. I can't remember everything in detail, but the main bit I remember was there's a part where she's sort of she says to Silas, dance, dance with me, and he's like, nah, I can't dance and whatever. And then I think she takes the radio and then starts listening to his music, and then she likes the music, and then before you know it, she's like, come and dance with me, and Silas is like, alright, let's go and dance. And they start dancing, and I think they're doing like some sort of ballroom dancing, and then they're just swept away into this this other world. They're really just out of this world, and they're just in their own world really. And then later on Felix and Elton find them, or Elton finds them through the door, but there's also like a zombie or whatever, and a wolf trying to like get into the hall and that. So I know this is sounding kind of well, I'm just memorizing what I saw or what I watched. I'm just trying to understand what happened in the order. There's a scene though, there is a scene though that I missed out in Felix and Elton's scene where there's a locker and it starts vibrating and there's a kid in there. But we don't get introduced by the kid. They don't even open up the locker to find out that the kid's in there. But we know there's a kid in there. So we're not too sure what's happening there, to be honest, because it doesn't make sense. Because obviously towards the end, I think they're leaving. But I don't know what's happened with that kid because they showed us there's a kid in there. But later on, they may be part of the story. We never know. We don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, that was in the scene. And then I thought later on, they'll open it and find the kid in there, but it didn't happen. So yeah, so then they're in the hall, they see them, and they're trying to come out, and they're locked in. So then they have no choice but to sort of, I think the wolf finds them and tries to come in, and they have to try and get out, but there's no other way out because all the doors are locked. And then they eventually come out, and then let's just cut all this shit forward because this is even boring me as well. So fast forward all this shit. In the end, Silas starts to he has a thing, he has a thing for Iris. He gets mad, starts battering the walkers with his bare hands, goes in a mad one, does an Incredible Hulk thing. Iris is like, wow, shocked. And then obviously later on, it just makes their bonding stronger. And he hurts like Elton tries to stop him. He pushes Elton away. He hurts Elton, and now Elton's thinking, he's having side thoughts that I'm not sure if I'm I don't know what to think about this gang no more, kind of thing. So, and Felix is obviously manipulating them to try and get them back, back to school and that. But I just feel like this Felix guy is bad. And I also feel like this Elton guy's gonna turn bad as well. That's just my presumption, but obviously we know already they're bad because they already have plans of what they're gonna do to them. You know what I mean? So we just know already there's something's not right. But they're trying to convince Elton, and I feel Elton's gonna fall for it and become bad as well. So, and you just know something along the lines here. Someone's gonna die in it. You just know already. Like I just don't know who it is, but someone's gonna die. And it's gonna be someone that we don't expect, and someone that we don't want to die is gonna die because that's just Walking Dead for you. But yeah, man, I just feel like that was kind of the plot. They take the picture at the end. I didn't really go into it in that much depth. I just talked about the highlights. There's also a part where Hope has she's foreshadowing or has dreaming about or having a moment where she's thinking about her father and trying to understand the quote was, fathers apologize they don't apologize they apologize in funny ways. And yeah, that was basically what she was kind of like thinking back on, tracking that moment where she witnessed that. And you just see a dad just sort of just saying to her like, I'm gonna go and do my thing, that you can't convince me, I'm gonna go and help them and that. So you're good here and all that shit. But anyway, yeah, that's basically to sum up episode 4. In a nutshell. It's not in detail. I don't really want to go in detail because it's gonna bore you guys.
You know what I mean? Because I don't really like talking too much. I'm more just I'm gonna talk about what's happened and then try and relate it to what's going on. But that was basically episode 4 from what I saw. Obviously episode 5, I'm looking forward to it. We don't know what's gonna happen, but we know that a lot of things are starting to reveal now, innit? So later on, it's all gonna come together right now. But at the moment, this is what's happening. Or happened. Yeah, so I just feel like, overall it's getting good, isn't it? In the end of the day, it's getting good. I just hope, it gets better and that, it just gets greater and that, yeah, now I'm just gonna just talk about other things and, just like, once again, it's been another busy day. It's been another busy week. It's been another hectic day. Just out here trying to grind and that, trying to do what I gotta do and that. It's just weird now that I don't have people. I can't talk to people on a regular basis. Like when I did my channel, I used to talk to people and stuff. It's just weird now because that's how my channel was set up. But now it's more like just I'm in the car and talking about TV series that I like and that. So far at the moment is like each episode, like I'm gonna start grading it. So this episode for me gets about a CB. I say B. It gets a B for me. This episode was very, very good. Last week's episode was was also a B. Yeah, I say B. Episode 2 was a D, and episode 1, yeah, it was a solid, yeah, B again. Yeah, they're all good. It's only episode 2 wasn't, but everything else was all good. It's episode 1, episode 3, and episode 4 was good. I hope episode 5 is even greater. But yeah, that's the grade that it gets from me. I mean, I don't know, guys. Just let me know, innit, like what you guys think, innit. Obviously I'm not that big in it, so obviously I started doing this channel for a while now, but I'm not big yet, and I don't really know how this whole YouTube thing really works, to be fair. I'll just do what I can and just do what I know in it, because that's it, bruv, you know what I mean? But a lot of the things, don't get me. Listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm fresh, bruv. I'm fresh when it comes to this whole technology thing. I know some stuff, but a lot of the stuff I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do this. So a lot of the time, it's just going slow for me. But I don't care, innit? That's just what I am, innit? I'm kind of old school in that sense. I'm more just like, you know what I mean? Even though I'm of this generation, I'm still kind of old school in that, and I'm just fresh like that. You get me? But bruv, like, just let me know, innit? Like, just let me know what going in it, because you know what I mean. Like, doing this is quite exciting, innit? Just having the opportunity, just to have to, just sit here and talk about anything, innit? I'm really interested to do Instagram live, but like I said, I'm fresh in it, so I don't really know how to do it, and maybe I know how to do it, but I don't want to do it. Yeah. Because I'm just like, yo, man, I don't know, man. You get me? I don't know if that's my thing, bruv. You know what I mean? Even though I do think it's lit, because I just feel like a lot of the stuff I'm talking about, because a lot of the time I talk about other things, well, I don't solely talk about movies, but that's solely what I'm about, innit? About movies and all that. And if there is a Netflix show or a TV series that you want me to watch and review, then obviously let me know as well, innit? And but one thing I'm gonna let you know, can't be no horror, none of that nonsense. I don't do no horror, none of that. Me, it's crime, drama, action and adventure. I don't really do comedy either, but you know what I mean. But if you want to send me that, whatever. But I don't do horror. That's the one thing I don't do. If you guys like, if you got horror fans that like horror, I'm sorry, I don't do it. People be thinking, well, Walking Dead's horror, but Walking Dead's an exception. That's lit. But I don't watch no horror. I'm sorry, I don't do it. You know what I mean, unless you're paying me, I'll say I watch. But apart from that, I ain't watching that shit. You know what I mean? How you doing, people? You good, yeah? I hope you're all good in that, innit? Because obviously, man's good out here as well. Do you get me? Like, even though it's a bit tough and that, but I'm just out here doing what I got to do, innit? Hope everybody's good in that. Just remember, once again, like, comment, subscribe, people. If you like what I'm doing right now, these little reviews that I'm giving to you each week about, my experience about watching, TV series, make sure you pop a like there, you know what I mean? And if you want to comment. If I would love it if you guys could put your comments of what review you want me to do next, or what even video you want me to do next. Do you know what I mean?
And yeah, man, and just keep subscribing, keep your boy going. Do you get me? And that's that. Do you get me? Because this is hard work. You know what I mean? Coming out here doing what you gotta do. You know what I mean? Just putting your face in the camera ain't easy. You know what I mean? A lot of anxiety, all that shit. You know what I mean? So you just gotta keep out here and do what I'm just out here doing what I gotta do. Do you get me? So that's what it is. So guys, yeah, man, let's get to it. Right. So episode 5 of The Walking Dead, World Beyond. I just watched it yesterday, a bit late, you know what I mean, but I didn't get time to watch it exactly on Sunday, so I watched it yesterday. Well, overall, it was alright. I can say it was alright, you know what I mean. It's a funny show, this thing, you know what I mean. This show is a funny show because it's like you have one day there's a good episode. Next week it's a dead episode. The next week it gets better. The next week it gets dead. It's like it's all over the place. This series, bruv. But overall, this episode, it wasn't that bad. It was alright. But I wouldn't say it was fantastic because there's not much going on. I feel like it's a bit too safe. They're being too safe with the whole thing, which is making it a bit dead. They need to bring these characters a bit out a bit. There needs to be more. There needs to be deaths. You know what I mean? This is not the Walking Dead language, bruv. You know, if it carries on going like this, they're destroying the name and the umbrella of what Walking Dead is, fam. The reason why we love it. Because there's not even just the suspense, the unpredictability, do you get me? You know, just everything, do you get me? Like, just, we don't know where characters sit, you don't know where characters, you don't know how characters think, what characters have intentions are. And that's what we love about Walking Dead, you get me? The suspense, all of that, do you get me? The violence, you get me? That's what we love. This is just dimming it down, do you get me? This is like changing it to some sort of party, sort of friendly, you know what I mean? Eco-friendly shit, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just dead, fam, you get me? Like, they're making it dead, like, and it's like, come on, bro, like, I'm not gonna proper just shred it off, do you get me? Because obviously, we haven't finished the season yet, but so far, it's just not going that well, do you get me? It's like, I'm not gonna say it's bad, but it's not great either. It's just too safe. Too safe as shit, man. I mean, come on, man. They need to come out with this shit, man. Show us something, man. There needs to be deaths. There needs to be love. There needs to be something. It's just too safe. It's too childish, man. I understand these kids are from school and high school and shit, but come on, man. Like, let them face reality. Like, what pisses me off as well is like they'll be walking out the street and there's not even blood on their face. There's no dirt on their face. It's too clean. I'm like, how you gonna have a clean face in the fucking zombie apocalypse, fam? You know what I mean? They ain't even got their clothes dirty. Are you dumb? I mean, come on, bruv. See what I'm saying? The whole point of the reason why we love Walking Dead is because of the reality of just being in an environment like that. Do you get me? None of us have been in an environment like that, but it puts us in that situation of how it would be. Do you know what I mean? We get the feeling of this is how it would be. Like the intensity of it. You see the dirt on the clothes. You see everything, and it works. But this here, they're just being safe, and it's shit, blood. You know what I mean? I don't want to go on a full-on rant, but it's like, because I know it could be good. They got the actors are good, but it's just they're not pushing it enough. Like, there's not enough investment in the characters. Like, I don't know much. I just know a bit, but not too much. And it's like, it's annoying because what is up with the secrecy now? We're in fucking season 5. Sorry, not season 5. Episode 5. Do you get me? I always get my seasons and episodes mixed up all the time. Do you get me? But we're in episode 5, fam. We're like midway, fam, and there's not been a build-up at all. It's just been, okay, first of all, it was how to kill a walker. Now it's how to build a fucking boat. It's like, what is this? You know what I mean? Is this a menu, fam, or is this actual show, fam? It just feels like, yo, it's a menu of how Walking Dead works. How you kill a dead, how you make a boat. It's like, it's stupid, fam. It's like, it's instruction book, fam. It's like, I'm not watching the instruction book. We want to just watch you just do what you gotta do. Do you know what I mean? Like, kill a motherfucker if you have to. Do you know what I mean? Come on, man. Do you know what I mean, man? But anyway, as you I don't know if you guys saw it, but again, this is gonna be spoilers because obviously for those who haven't seen it, I'm gonna be talking about the season or the episode. So there's gonna be some spoilers, but it's all about Elton this time. You know what I mean? We got one thing I do like is that each episode we've kind of got a bit of a story of each character. So I think episode 1 we got Hope and a bit of Iris. Episode 2, I guess it was a bit of Hope, and in episode 3, Silas. Episode 4, I don't know. Then obviously episode 5, Elton. So we're talking. It's more focused on Elton's story, and sorry, episode 2 was Felix. Yeah. And we get a background on what he went through and why he's the way he is. And in the beginning, like obviously when we watched it, he came out as this really clever guy, this very intelligent, well put together guy. And that's what we got from the first episode. So we saw that this guy knows quite a lot. He's quite interesting. He's full of an adventure. It kind of in the beginning we kind of knew that he'd kind of be the geek of the group, and that's very much true. But then we get to understand when we watched it that he actually has a bit of a backbone. I mean, he's actually not as wimpyish as he looks, or as he tried, or as he has acted. I mean, or as he has portrayed himself to be throughout the couple of episodes that we've watched. We see quite a deep story of him, of when he was young and what he went through, what he saw, which was pretty traumatic. And for a little kid to see. And we see who his father was, we see his mother, and we see how his family, the chemistry of his family, and how that built to the way he was, and and why he got the sort of fears and anxieties that he did. And we find out that the reason why he's so claustrophobic is because as we saw in the clip, there was a moment where his father was put in a situation where there were zombies around the area, and they were in a room, and the dad had no choice but to hide his son in a little sort of box, a little sort of box where he sort of he sort of just put him, shoved him in there and said, what, you can't be afraid, because if I'm not afraid, so you can't be afraid. So he gives him a rock as a present. So listen, this is a gift from me. And then he takes that rock, and he sits down and stays in that little box. And in that little box, I think he's in there for like days, and he's hearing zombies getting killed in that. So of course, that mentally, that's fucking your head up. Do you know what I mean? And as a little kid, that's messing you up. So that's exactly what happened. And we see a clip or a part. We see a part where he's been challenged to do it. He's been challenged to go underneath the boat to sort of fix up the. I don't know what he was doing. I think he was I don't know what he was doing. I think he was trying to fix up the engine or something like that. But the point is that he was basically told to go underneath, because I think he's the slimmest, so to go underneath there and fix it. And of course it was a challenge to him because it was claustrophobic, so it reminded him of that moment. And it was there was a moment there was a point in that moment where he even got trapped in there, and he was scared to come out. And then obviously luckily they pulled him out. A couple of pointers there, a couple of highlights. We got to get deeper with I don't know the girl's name. Okay, this is the only character that I don't know her name. Since the whole season when I watched it, they haven't explained her name. They probably have said her name, but I don't hear her name enough, so I don't know. There's a lady that's with Felix. I thought they were like in a relationship, but they're not in a relationship. But I think they just help her. They just help each other to try and get these kids. She's basically confronting to Hope, about her story of what she's been through, and it's pretty deep again. And she's like, I'm all for this adventure because I feel like everybody can learn from this. Everybody has got to find their own ways. The only way for people to get tougher and all that. Do you get me? And it was a bit of a deep moment. You know what I mean? And we got a bit of understanding of her story, and she's talking about how Felix and the rest of the gang, this is going to be an opportunity for them to get stronger and know their strengths and weaknesses. And then throughout the whole scene we see them sort of split up and sort of go and get, I don't want to go too deep in it because it's not really that interesting, just go and get some nail polishes to just basically light up the boat and all that shit. But I think the key point was, there was a part where Hope was listening into the conversation of Felix and the lady, and they basically, she found out that, that Felix was in the plan of making them kind of go back, because what was happening was that Felix wanted them to go back to the school that they came from. So what he done was he tried to manipulate Elton, or try to get him to sort of support their cause of them bringing all the kids back to the university. And obviously Elton was for that for a bit. He actually agreed with it for a while. because he started to see that, you know, I think the fear got to him. He started to think to himself, I don't think I can last. I don't think, you know, I don't think it's sensible for us to keep going on this adventure. But then obviously after a while, you know, I don't know, he didn't really get his head screwed on at first. I think, you know, the gang found out, they got mad with him, and then they sort of kind of worked on, you know, they just worked on it and sort of just you know, just kind of got on with it, really. I mean, just kind of just, you know, just I don't know if I don't know, did he even apologize? I don't even know what happened there, but all I know is just that, you know, they've basically just resolved it all, and then just, you know, just going, you know what I mean, just moving on swiftly on. But the iconic part of this whole series, if there's one scene that you want to capture out of the whole entire episode, is there's one scene where right towards the end, Elton goes and sits by himself and he starts reminiscing, you know, the time, you know, of his parents and his mother. He starts to see his strengths and weaknesses. And there's actually a really deep part there that I didn't even know myself, which when I watched it I was like, wow. Like, there's a part where he's actually looking back, and it's funny because we see Elton as this wimp, innit? That this guy, he knows it all, but he's a wimp. But then when we saw that clip, it just gave us a whole different perspective of who Elton is. Do you get me? We see him as a kid. He sees his father mashed up to pieces, shredded to pieces, bruv. Butchered, fam. I mean, eaten alive, fam. Shot in the, I think he was shot in the head as well. Like, just brutal, fam. He just brutally killed, fam. Like, he just sees his father there. He takes the bag, walks out. A little kid, I think he's like 5 years old, in the middle of nowhere, and then finds his way around. He takes, I think he picks up a piece of paper like it's like a map, and then he just walks and then tries to find his way to another sort of, you know, another land, you know what I mean, or another area where he can find people. And that showed us how courageous he is. And he obviously started to cry and stuff. And then the biggest moment was when, you know, Hope came to sit next to him. I knew already when Hope came to sit next to him, this is gonna be mad, because I knew already that, of course, that we saw in the beginning of episode 1 that his Hope killed his mother, and obviously we got also in episode 1 that his mother was the woman that Hope killed. And then he had a picture of her in the book, and he opened it. He looked at her. Do you know what? This is what I thought at first, yeah? Because I'm a romantic guy and I like love, innit? I thought that, you know, there was going to be a thing going on between them two, innit? I thought she was going to, because the way she was proper sitting next to him, putting her head in that, you know what I mean? And he was proper just sitting there, but I was thinking Hope is a bit too aggressive for my man, innit? But, you know, I just thought, like, that could have happened, innit? But it didn't, innit? But we never know, innit? But I just felt like the closest was they were so close. So I thought that was happening, because obviously, you know, we already know that Iris and Silas, you get me, they're doing their thing. So I was thinking it was, you know, it was gonna happen with them two as well, but obviously it didn't. Oh shit, my light.